And so you grew up in Brooklyn, and did you grow up in the Brownsville area?
Oh yeah, Brownsville, East Flatbush.
Okay, Brownsville never ran, never will.
Oh, you know about that?
Oh, I know about that. Yeah, of course.
Yeah, I always say Mike Tyson grew up in Brownsville, and Brownsville was so rough. Mike had to get out of Brownsville, so you know what we had to go through.
Yeah,
it was tough. It was tough. Nobody was playing chess except me and a few buddies. But thankfully, I was able to really fall in love with something and pursue it the way I did. And that obsession kept me off the streets, kept me out of trouble. If I was going to get in trouble, my mother was going to whip my tail if I did get in any trouble. But still, it kept me really focused on something I wanted to become. Yeah,
and there's legendary stories about people playing over the board in New York. And, and I think it's a big difference where, people play online now. So I've been playing online and, not a long time, maybe, a decade or so. And so I know about the ELO rating. What advice would you give to someone who wants to ascend to that level? And at the same time, are these skills that are innate? Are they learned? There's this old question of skill, proficiency at something can be learned, or some people think the skills that you have, you were born with them. And so do you think that if someone spends enough time at something, regardless of what they were born with, they can achieve some of the same things that you've achieved?
I think that storyline is oversold.
Yeah.
Certainly, I think that without certain elements, you cannot become successful at anything. The biggest element for me is passion. Without passion, desire, love, obsession, if you will, for the activity that you're doing, you're not going to become elite at that activity. So I think that's a foundation for any kind of attempt at a really incredible goal, difficult, stringent, arduous goal that somebody might pursue. You need that. You need that kind of focus. But in terms of something like chess, I think that there is a talent base involved as well. You see kids who are 10, 11 years old showing enormous talent, like prodigious talent. They say that there are three fields where they're prodigies: is math, music, and chess. The three fields where kids can play at the same level as adults. And you can't tell the difference between a youngster performing it and an adult performing it, and a young prodigy, that is. You can't fake it in basketball. There's no 11-year-old who's going to play with players in the NBA. It's not going to happen. But in chess, you do have that. You have international masters even at that age. Grandmaster, the youngest grandmaster of all time, is a 12-year-old. So talent is definitely a part of it. No question about it. But I became a grandmaster at 33. I got introduced to the game late, and in terms of the serious aspect, in terms of playing in tournaments. I didn't play in a tournament until I was 15, much less talking about becoming a title player as such. So I believe in the greatest quote that I was ever told, the one that resonates to me in anyone who wants to be successful, was by a fellow grandmaster, Alexander Shabalov. This was before I became a grandmaster. He's a grandmaster from Latvia, but living in the States, representing the United States for many years, 4-time U.S. champion, in fact. And he had watched me play a game that if I had won, I would have become a grandmaster on the spot. I ended up losing the game. Afterwards, he said, "Don't worry about it. You'll get there. But remember this. In order to become a grandmaster, you must first be a grandmaster." And that really hit me, because what he was saying was that you don't ascend to the title. You put everything in place in your life so that you are studying the right way, working hard the right way, exercising the right way, reading the right kind of motivational books, reading the kind of literature that talks about developing the mind. You put everything in place so that you are, in fact, a grandmaster from your habits. That when you get to the tournament, you just take care of business in the tournament.
Right.
You just win the games you're going to win because you're already doing that in practice. And that is something I feel happens with everyone. If you are not committing yourself 100% to your art form, to your sport, to your profession, you can't expect to be at that high level when the moment comes, when you have to deliver. You have to do all of it, the work beforehand. And so I preach that, yes, if you have the passion, if you have a certain set of skills, a talent within what your chosen field is, and usually you can feel it because it feels like you've been touched by something powerful that says, this is what you're going to do, then I think most people can become what they want to become.
Yeah.
Because I think that's like the pre-existing condition for greatness is the desire, true desire, not like a fake one where you just want it because maybe you're going to become famous or you're going to become wealthy. And I think are like, the ancillary benefits of success. But you're doing the thing that you feel the universe has touched you with wanting to do. And I think that most people, if they're ready to commit with that kind of focus and intensity to be instead of become, then I think most people, yes, can succeed.
Yeah. That's exactly what I thought you were going to say. I think we've heard about the 10,000 hour rule. In order to master something, you take 10,000 hours at it. So worth ethic wins. Well, it could be. It's important. The 10,000 hours. I understand the concept. Who was the author? I'm forgetting his name. Malcolm Gladwell. Exactly. So I understand Malcolm Gladwell coined this, and 10,000 is a nice round number. There's no number. There's clearly, of course,
magical.
Right. Yeah.
The point is the time you put in. And you have to put in the time, no matter what. It has to get muscle memory. It's got to be something that it becomes automatic. But what it is it becomes internalized through your own dedication to practice. Mm-hmm. And again, practice is the hours actually doing the thing, but it's also the hours thinking about doing the thing. It's the hours spent not doing other things. Right? You can put in all that time.
Yeah.
Right, but if you're drinking every night, and you're trying to be a star athlete, then you're not sacrificing what you need to. You're not setting up the entire infrastructure necessary for you to become successful. So it's not just in the things you're doing, the thing you're deciding not to do, the negative things that will affect your performance. And not only that, it's the systems in place. Is your family with this? Is your spouse or your friends? Because they could easily work against you. Why are you spending so much time doing this activity? You're never going to do it. Look how long it's been taking. Are you sure we should be spending all this money on it? So it's an ecosystem that says, what makes this person an elite performer? It's because everything around them has been designed in such a fashion.